Well, hello, and welcome to the last episode of the Empowered Half Hour for 2025. I am here just doing a solo episode. Why? Well, because there's a lot to reflect on. I mean, you're probably wrapping up the year too, thinking about what went well, what could be different next year. I know so many of us start thinking of our goals and what's important to us and what we would like to see and what we would like to improve. And all of that is super important. And it's also super important to reflect on the years. 2025, what was it for you? Take a moment to think about it. What were some of the highlights? What were some of the things that went sideways? I know I had a lot of stuff go sideways, and I'll talk about that here in a second. And, from the stuff that went sideways, what did you learn from it? These are such important questions to ask ourselves because when we don't get the chance to discover what I always say, like, there's like gold in everything that we experience. And if we don't slow down to ask ourselves questions and we don't do this discovery of reflection, we miss the gold and the things that happened in this past year. So, what happened in my world in 2025? I would love to talk to you about it. So, 2025 was a great year for tea time. And for those of you that follow the show and the social media, we always say tea time. And the reason we do that is because the acronym for the Empowered Half Hour is TEHH, which could be te. But I thought tea was a lot cooler than te. So here we are with tea time, and the whole world needs some positivity. So I'm really proud of this podcast and proud of you for listening and staying committed. I mean, I don't know that I shared this on social media yet, but I'll definitely share it with you in reflection of 2025 and the podcast. We hit global top 10% a couple months ago. So thank you so much for being part of our community and our weekly listener or biweekly listenership. It really means a lot to us. And it does mean that positivity is getting spread out into the world each time you listen and share. So really appreciate you this year. We had some great guests. I know I had a blast interviewing everybody. We had conversations around fulfillment and loss and alignment and positivity and mindset and pushing back and so many good conversations. If you didn't catch all the episodes this year, I would definitely rewind and take a listen because we had some really wonderful experts and guests on, and we cracked open a lot of transformation, which is always something I love to do on the show. But for me personally, and I would say professionally with the business, it was a year of shedding and transformation. And it's funny, a couple weeks ago, I was getting my nails done and I was talking to my nail tech and I'm like, God, this year was so painful. Not that it was bad, but it was just painful. It was like things that were maybe like steady, like in my life, whether it was a person, a situation, or a routine that was like 10 years solid now is shifting or evolving or gone. And I'm like, whoa, that's really weird. And why does everything feel like it's shedding? And then she said, well, that's because it's the year of the snake. And the year of the snake is only going to benefit the people that show up and let the year get shed. And that is going to allow huge transformation for 2026 and beyond. If your year felt painful and you felt like you were shedding a lot, it was the year of the snake. I don't know much about it, but I trust what she said. And then I talked to other people about it and they all said that it's the same things. Take that, do some research. But if you have felt like you have been shedding a lot, you're probably right on time with the rest of us. But for the business, it was a really, really cool year. So if you guys have been with me a long time, you know that I'm an author and a keynoter and also a business owner. And my business partner, Lene, has been on the show quite a few times. And we run a personal and professional training company where we develop leaders into coaches so that they can be more of a coach within their business, really guide performance from a lens of nervous system regulation, get true results. But there's a lot of things that go into that. So we have been working this entire year to make the programs more accessible, more easy to do outside of your organization with us, because we did a lot of corporate delivery, worked a lot with Fortune 500 accounts and stuff like that. And the good news is that going into 2026, you're going to see a lot more programs that are facing you, that are made for you to join us virtually So you don't have to be live in person with us. And we had a lot of requests for that. So what you can expect to see with us with excitement from a program perspective is we're going to have our trauma-informed leadership coaching certification available for 2 cohorts in 2026. So if you have any interest in leveling up your leadership with a trauma-informed nervous system approach and you want to heighten your coaching skills, I would say pay attention to the show, pay attention to our social media. We'll have a lot of stuff going on around that, but it is an absolute game changer. We're having a lot of positive feedback. Our wait list is building, and we're just so happy to be able to deliver something to you all after years of being mainly business facing. That was a big, talk about shedding. We had to who do we have to become to be able to take these corporate offerings and bring them to our listeners, to our followers, to our readers. So that was a really big overhaul for Lene and I. And then in addition to that, people wanted more opportunities to learn with us. And we are going to be bringing in 2026, we're going to host at least 5 or 6 times. We're going to host a 2-day intensive that's called the Regulated Leader so that you can learn regulation tools for yourself and for your team. It's really amazing content. And again, just really for 2025, we spent a lot of time in our body of work. We can serve our customers in so many different ways. And it took a lot of reflection. And that's a word that I just continue to use for 2025. It took a lot of reflection to shed, I'm going to use that theme again, to shed what wasn't necessary. We really needed to be okay with getting hyper focused. And I think it's going to pay off really, really big. And I think that you guys are going to benefit from it, which is even better because from a mission standpoint, and I do believe that all of us need a mission, whether it's a personal mission or a corporate mission, a vision, things like that. Like Lene and I have this vision that through our body of work, we will change the collective consciousness of leadership in corporate America, right? We're going to elevate it and we're out on a mission. So the clarity that comes with some of that work of being able to reflect and then build a clear vision is just so powerful. So again, as I relate this to you, have you reflected on what you're doing? Is it aligned to where you want to go? And if the answer is no, what do you need to shed so that it is? And are you willing to shed it? Because that you'll find that there's a lot of attachment to the things that we do. So anyhow, we've been through that process. I highly recommend for you to go through it. And that brings me to 2026. So I share a little bit about how the business evolved from really just books and keynotes and workshops and corporate facing deliveries to now we're really working on putting programs together for our listeners and our readers and our audience. And we're super excited that 2026 is going to bring more of that to you. But in addition to that, for the podcast, we are going to continue to bring you awesome experts, leaders, coaches, authors, all the same high quality content. We're still going to deliver bi-weekly interviews with these experts so that you get all the empowerment, wisdom, ahas, awareness that you need to continue to charge through life with that extra level of motivation, put energy into your business, get new ahas that may change the trajectory of your life. I mean, we've gotten some really excellent feedback from our listeners that these episodes have changed your life. So thank you. Every time you guys write in, every time you leave a review, it means the world to us. So hearing your feedback is just so wonderful. But again, as it relates to the podcast, you're going to see more of the same plus. So we're going to bring you bonus episodes. And I say we because I will still be doing the interviews, but I will be cutting more solo episodes. We're going to have a lot more teaching into trauma-informed leadership principles, nervous system regulation. I want to get a lot more tactical while the interviews are super empowering and are on brand with what I promise and what we promise to deliver to you guys. We've gotten so much feedback for more teachings, and so we're going to bring more teaching. I'm going to step up some solos and talk about different principles, different ways of handling things in life and leadership. And then Lene is going to come on with me too. And we're both going to talk a lot more about the 7 principles of trauma-informed leadership. We have frameworks to help prevent burnout. And we're just going to talk a lot about things that you'll be able to apply tactically to your life and leadership. So all of that will be done through the theme of regulation, radiance, and being revived. That is kind of going to be the theme for 2026. We're going to have, again, the bi-weekly release of the episodes with more teaching from me by myself and me with my business partner and co-facilitator in the world of Powers Peak Potential, Nate Looney. Oh my gosh. I totally just came on here to share my gratitude and to just wrap up 2025, look at 2026, let you know what to expect. We love hearing from you. I just mentioned that, but we so do. So if you enjoyed 2025 or you want to see something in 2026 that I have not listed and said out loud, then please let us know. I want to hear from you. Secondly, again, thank you for your listenership. I went over the moon when we hit global top 10%. I'm like, what? This is freaking awesome. I'm so excited. I was so pumped, so pumped. Again, thank you. And I wish you a wonderful ending to 2025. Please take the time to reflect, accept the gift of the shedding that is available to you, because when we shed what no longer serves, we're able to lighten our load. We're able to let in our radiance. We're able to let in new possibility. And what is a better time and space to let that stuff in than the beginning of a new year? So give yourself that gift of the shedding. Give yourself the gift of reflection. Give yourself the gift of really calling in what you want. And with that, guys, I want to share, and I always end with hey, what's an empowering message? I say that to the guests. What's an empowering messaging that you can share with the audience? So I'd like to say this to you. You are the author of the book of your life. And every single day you get the chance to write a new page, to start a new chapter. And that in itself is empowering. If you truly knew that you were the author of your book of life, and that you were able to dictate more of the characters, the directions, and the outcomes, what would you do differently? So I leave that thought for you. You are the author of your book of life. Make it magical, make it wonderful, and I'll see you next year.